Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
I was rushed to the emergency room with symptoms no one could explain. The hospital corridor blurred past me. The only sound, a single heart monitor beep echoing in the background. As I lay there, hooked up to an IV drip, watching the numbers flicker on the vitals monitor, I felt invisible. No answers, just uncertainty. That moment changed everything for me. My name is Andrea Corleto, and I am the founder of Live Health. I went from being a patient with no clear diagnosis to someone determined to change the system. From patient to founder. My journey began in that hospital bed, but it did not end there. Here is a fact that shocked me. Women spend 25% more time in poor health than men. That is not just a statistic. It is a reality that affects millions of women every single day. The system is not built for us, and it shows in the outcomes. A lot of longevity protocols were built on men. What works for them can be wrong for women. On one side, you see men biohacking their way to better health with cold plunges and breathwork. On the other, women are left managing unexplained symptoms, night sweats, and the confusion of perimenopause or menopause. Male default protocols can fail women, leaving us searching for answers that just are not there. But what if there was a better way? At LIV Health, we use artificial intelligence to read your medical data and connect the dots in minutes. Our platform analyzes over 70 biomarkers from wearables and lab results, mapping out insights that would take a human hours or even days to uncover. Then, every plan is reviewed by a clinician. It is not just technology. It is technology with a human touch. At first, I hesitated to share my story. I worried it was just me. But when I finally opened up, the response was overwhelming. Women reached out on LinkedIn, at conferences, even after I spoke at Harvard. They said, "I thought this was just me." That is when I realized, this is a shared experience, and it needs a voice. Here is what we offer at LEV Health. We track over 70 biomarkers, synthesize your data with artificial intelligence, and ensure every plan is reviewed by a clinician. Then we deliver actionable coaching in 2 15-minute blocks because your time matters. It is doable, practical, and designed for real life. No more endless appointments or confusing protocols. This is what I wished existed when I was lying in that hospital bed. Now, it is real. Our mission is simple. Help women feel better now and live longer, healthier lives. From lab draws to restful sleep to walking outside with confidence, we are here for every step of your journey. You solved your own problem. That is authenticity. And it scales, said Grant McGaugh, host of the Follow the Brand podcast. When you build from lived experience, you build something real. That is what makes LIve Health different. Listen now to the full episode, from ER patient to VC-backed founder, on the Follow the Brand podcast. The link is in the bio. Follow for more stories of innovation, resilience, and real change. LYV Health and Follow the Brand. Together, we are rewriting the future of women's health.
Welcome, everybody, to the Follow Brand Podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh, and I get to talk about one of my favorite subjects. And people have been following me. You know how I feel about women's health. I've learned a lot by talking to other women when it comes to how they engage with the healthcare system that I just didn't know. I just was not aware of certain challenges that are there that are not on the other side of the ball as a male. So we're going to continue some conversation. We're going to talk to Andrea Coletto about what motivates her right now. She has a fantastic platform. She's in that world of healthcare. She's in that world of technology, but she's in a world that she wants to influence others and educate people on these types of subjects. So, Andrea, you'd like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Grant, for having me. I'm Andrea. I am the founder of Live Health, a personalized longevity platform for women. And, I got started with this very much coming from a personal space, navigating a chronic illness and realizing all the gaps in the healthcare system, particularly when it comes to women's health. So decided that I had to do something about it. If something's broken, I have to fix it. And that's how I got started on this journey of founding my company, and along the way I've been very public about my journey, getting diagnosed, navigating health, building a company in the health space, and I think that's really resonated with people. So excited to be here.
All right. Well, we're going to jump right in right there because your personal journey, your brand origin is very, very intriguing to me because, like you said, you've shared your brand, what was born from a very personal, health journey. I've got a personal health journey as well. But I want you, if you could, please walk us through the moment that you decided to publicly share that story and what shifted for you afterward.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for me, when I first was starting to figure out what was going on with my body, I turned to social media and I saw others sharing their stories of navigating their own chronic illnesses. And along the way, found people that had similar symptoms to me, got referrals to books. Like, I just realized how much value there was in others who had shared their stories. And so as I started to figure things out, eventually got diagnosed, got on treatment, started looking at the health space and educating myself, I wanted to give back to, right? I wanted to also share my story for those who needed to hear it, for those who resonated. And at first it started with just in conversations, being very open about it. And I realized how much people gravitated towards it, and then got a little more comfortable sharing it on my TikTok, eventually on my LinkedIn. And I hesitated, right? For example, like LinkedIn feels like a very professional network. I wondered, is there a space to share personal stuff there? Would it look unprofessional, or would it help people connect with me? And I found that it was the latter. I started sharing what drove me to start my company and how I came into that journey. And it really resonated with people. So, it was baby steps, starting from conversations to actually sharing it publicly, and now speaking on podcasts and panels. And it's awesome to see that it either resonates for people because they've experienced something similar, or they are currently experiencing something similar, or they know someone very close to them who did. And particularly for women, because we don't often talk about some of these topics, they're excited that someone is finally talking about them.
I think this is so important because, as you alluded to, you hesitated early on to lead with your personal health experience and on platforms like LinkedIn. But what I have found is that authenticity sells because you can't lie to yourself. Everyone was, I'm going to say everyone, but a lot of people have had challenging situations. And they aren't always visible to a lot of different people. So when they hear an authentic story, it's like, oh yeah, she's going through something like I experienced, and she's bold enough, she's brave enough to share it. I want to listen to this because that gives me a lot more confidence in what I've been through to tell that story. So hopefully someone else doesn't necessarily have to go through that type of thing. So I want to understand from your lens, what finally convinced you that vulnerability would actually strengthen your credibility rather than diminish it?
Yeah, great question. I gave a panel at Harvard Business School where we sort of lead with, it's sort of like a keynote, and we lead with our story. You tell your story of your take on the world. It's called a My Take. So you share your take on the world, what drove you to be who you are. And that was the first time that I shared a lot about my background, both my background growing up, navigating a chronic illness, just everything in my life and how that brought me to where I am now and what I'm working on now. And it was very nerve-wracking sharing that in a public setting, but I saw how much it resonated. And I think that was one of the first sort of public moments of talking about everything. I shared photos of me at the hospital when I had to be rushed into the ER, and I talked about, the symptoms I was having and how painful it was. And and I saw that, many people, many women came up after saying, that's interesting. I didn't know that was not normal. I have the same symptoms. Or even more interestingly, I had a couple guys approach me and say, hey, my girlfriend has a lot of those symptoms too. Is there a book that I can get her? Is there any way I can help her? And I was like, wow, the guys are listening too. And so it was really, it felt like it was making an impact, right? If I helped one person understand that maybe what they were going through is not normal or shouldn't be the norm, then I've made a difference.
You made a complete difference, especially in the lives of those individuals. A lot of people, they think when they're going to do something like that, they'd have to influence the thousands and millions of people. But really, if you can at least influence one person, possibly two with your story, you've done a lot. And then if you can resonate and then scale from there, that's just wonderful. Right, right. That just adds to the entire experience. Now you've positioned yourself at the crossroads of what I call longevity, technology, and women's health. My question is, why is this intersection so critical right now? And how do you see it evolving in the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. So on the women's health side, as you know, women's health has been under-researched, underfunded. That's slowly changing, but we're not there yet. So I think bringing awareness to different issues of women's health is super important. I'm a big advocate of hormonal health issues like endometriosis, PCOS, as well as autoimmune diseases, which women are more prone to. So I think it's a very important space, and it's finally getting more attention beyond, women's health used to be seen as just fertility. Now it's finally being recognized as going beyond fertility, right? Recognizing that women are not just about making babies. And at the same time, there's been this boom in the longevity space, particularly with Brian Johnson, Peter Attia, all of the primarily longevity guys. And so as there's a lot of interest in extending lifespan and health span, I realized there's a gap in a female first approach. which is what my company's all about. Because a lot of these protocols work for men or work for individuals. A lot of these are also just like white men, right? What works for them, the protocols that work for them, might not work for a person of color, might not work for a woman. And so I wanted there to be a little bit more of a conversation of the intersection of longevity with a female first approach to really understand what works for us, right? It's not there's a lot of hype around cold plunges, but those aren't actually very good for women if they're too cold. So there's all of these things that are unique to our biology. And now with AI, we can actually start to personalize the protocols. We can, AI can read all your medical data and summarize it and connect the dots in a way that would take a human weeks. It takes AI a couple minutes, and that's really powerful. And so if we can take all of the new innovations in longevity, use AI to look at the different biomarkers through blood testing, through wearables, we have all this data now, and then use that to personalize what the protocols look like for every woman or for every person, I think there's a lot of power there. So all of these things have sort of started to come up in recent years, and I think there's a lot of value in being at the intersection of them.
I like what you just said there. I mean, I love the audience just back up and read what you just said, because this is the power of where artificial intelligence can really be helpful. I think one of the reasons why the medical field has been kind of slow to adopt certain things because it takes a lot of data. They have to crunch a lot of different numbers and get a lot of different clinical information in order to arrive at some kind of prescription, if that's what it is, some kind of drug or some kind of clinical plan that's going to come together. So it takes a lot. But now if you've got a tool that can do it faster as far as data crunching, let's get all the data in. And now instead of, we can only look at one particular individual, one particular world or location. Now we can look at many at the same time. That's going to open up the field. We should probably get much better results when it comes from a medical perspective because we have much more information at our disposal. Now, artificial intelligence, now it plays a big role in your business and in Liv's health approach, right? LYV health approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to help us understand how does the balance, the promise of AI with the need for, let's say, empathy, right? And then trust in women's health. How does that play into first explain what your platform is all about and explain how it can help us in those aspects?
Yeah, of course. So Live Health is a personalized longevity platform for women. We help you get to the root cause of symptoms and then also preventatively look at any areas of risk to optimize for long-term health. So we start with a blood test. We test about 70 biomarkers to understand what's going on underneath the surface. And then from there, we create a very personalized report. And that's where we leverage AI plus clinicians to make sure that what we're providing is really personalized. We give you tactical recommendations on what you can do to improve those biomarkers. And then we provide the support. That's something I noticed was really missing in the longevity industry. It's not just about having the data. What good is data if we don't do anything about it? It's actually helping you take action. So we have clinicians and coaches that become your partner on the journey and help you understand nutrition. What are the foods that you should be eating, you should be avoiding given any symptoms or any biomarkers, exercise, mental health, and then also supplements and prescriptions if needed. So we take a very holistic approach to helping women feel their best and manage both any symptoms that they're having, whether it's due to postpartum, perimenopause, or menopause, and then optimize any areas of risk for long-term health. So it's a really interesting intersection because we do leverage AI. As I said, we use it to look at all the data points. We collect data from the biomarker testing, from wearable data. All our members take an intake form where we get a sense for both where they're at in terms of health, but also their life, right? A lot of times your lifestyle has a big impact in how you're feeling or what you can actually do. And so we use AI to really synthesize all that data, connect the dots, right? So that we can, when we look at a biomarker that's out of range, we're not just looking at it in a vacuum. We're not just saying, this is out of range, but actually this is out of range and you told us you have this condition and you're at this stage of life and you're doing these things. So here's what it actually means for you. And that's something that I saw from other longevity companies where I would get my blood test results and it would say, oh, this inflammation marker is out of range. Well, of course it is. I have a chronic illness that's an inflammatory disease. Of course it's going to be. They're not connecting the dots. We are connecting the dots using AI. Um, and then, of course, we have clinicians in the loop that review everything before it goes out to our customers. So I think that's a really important part when it comes to healthcare and AI. We're still at the point where having a clinician in the loop is really important to make sure that everything is accurate. And then the support is all humans, right? Having a person that, if a lot of our members are navigating perimenopause and menopause, and having a coach that they can talk to that says, you're not going crazy, your symptoms are very real, here's what you can do, and I understand you are a busy mom or taking care of your parents. Here's how we're gonna make these changes fit into your life and into your schedule. Because not everyone has time for like a hour-long workout routine in the morning. Maybe it's like, let's get 15 minutes here and here in between meetings. And so I think the personalization has to be human too. AI
Mhm.
helps, but I think healthcare is so personal that having clinicians in the loop is something that's not going to go away for a while.
I think this is so important. You have on your platform, it's a subscription-based platform. You've got members. You have a community. So people, I would figure you're not feeling isolated at all. You've got a community of people with some similar experiences that you can then engage with. So I'm starting to get the clarity aspects of what you do, right? Like, hey, how is your, you know, system or framework or business a little bit different. So I'm seeing this clarity in action, and what the practice of engaging with the patients and the clinicians have been. Now, first tell us how long you've been in business, and you've done something with a lot of people or small business owners haven't been able to do, and that is to attract investors into your business. Tell us about that first experience where somebody's like, hey, I think you got something here. We'd like to see if there's something we could invest in for you, and just kind of describe that whole experience.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we are VC backed. We launched this year, so we're pretty new, and have been really lucky to see a lot of traction in the early days as the mission and what we offer really resonates with people and with investors as well. We were approached early on by an investor that we're now working with. They're a large VC fund in Silicon Valley, and we're working with their healthcare arm. So that's helped us get off the ground, especially when it comes to making sure that we're able to hire the right medical advisors, the right clinicians, have the right infrastructure. And so that's been really powerful. We're early on in our journey, so we'll probably, continue to raise as things go. But for us, it was really important to make sure that we were aligning ourselves with investors that were aligned with our mission, and that wanted to head in the right direction. At the end of the day, like who you partner with on your business makes an impact on the strategy, on the direction, on the expectations. So something we were, as in our first round of funding, talked to different investors, and I'll be honest, there were some that we went to dinner with them, and I really liked their investment person. When we went to dinner with the whole team, I decided I don't want to work with these people. I don't want them. I don't want them helping me make decisions on my business. I don't want to be talking to them for the next 10 years. And I think that's an important boundary to set. And then it completely the opposite when we talked to the investors that we did get funding from. We felt like we were very much aligned on the journey, on the approach, had the right support. They also had a female VC both in the healthcare arm, leading the healthcare arm and leading the fund. So I thought that was really powerful. So yeah, for us, it's aligning ourselves with the right type of investors that see the vision.
That's important because it's a business partner, and if they're not on the same level or where you are in in the passion that you have for the business, the purpose that you have for the business, the why, why are we doing this? And if you're not aligned with that, if you only see, the financial aspects of it all, and that's all you're doing, the dollars and cents. And I always look at finance, that's a reflective thing. It's reactive. It's more an effect than it is in cause. So that way, if you're going to evaluate the business, evaluate its cause. What is it doing? Who can it impact the most? And then you start to see the true potential of what you want to truly invest in. So the numbers you may be looking at right now are not going to be the numbers in 3 to 5 years. But if you help us to grow and your alignment with the business goal and what we're looking to do, and I love your particular mission and what you want to accomplish. You've got all the ingredients. You've got a great platform, you've got a great system, and you understand the people that are out there. That's really what it's about, right? There's so many people out there already that may be going a similar experience that you went through, and that they need to find this family of people that can help them. So I guess my question for you is, if you could give us one piece of advice, especially to other founders, other people that are on their business who want to use their personal brand to drive growth, what would that be?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think particularly in the early stages, investors are investing in you, not necessarily in your idea. They of course have to believe that the idea has some legs to it, that the space is interesting enough. But primarily in the early stages, they need to believe that you are the right person to do it and that you are going to figure it out. So for us, what that looked like is on my side, my background's in consumer health. I was at a consumer tech company before, grew to 200 million and had another company after. So this is my second startup. And so I showed that professionally, I have the right background to scale a consumer company. And personally, I have the passion for it. I've felt the pain points. This is personal to me. This is something I want to fix. And so that shows them that I'm willing to jump through hoops to get there, and I have the skills to be able to do that. And then similarly on my co-founder side, who is more on the medical and technology side, they have to believe that she's also the right person to help me execute on this, that we're the right partners on this, that we work well together, and that we're very passionate about this and able to scale. And so I think it really is about your story. Why are you doing this? Why do you have the skills to do this? And what sort of insights do you have on the industry that others haven't, right? Like showing those earned secrets after, we talked to like 100+ women because before we even came up with the idea, because we wanted to make sure that we were building based on not just my experience, but the experience of other women as well. And so I think also showing that you've done the homework, right? You have the right skill set, the right passion, and the right knowledge to be able to do this. Because at the end of the day, investors are investing in you. And I will say, like, putting yourself out there too. I started posting on LinkedIn a lot recently, and we've had angel investors and VCs reach out. And I think it's just, right, like nothing changed from the time before I was doing LinkedIn posts to after. I'm the same person. It's just that it's out there. People are seeing it. And I'm inviting people on the journey with me. And I think that visibility is also really helpful.
Man, you're singing my song. I have my own framework. It's called the Brave Framework. And I use that framework to do exactly what you're talking about. First, you've got to understand your origin story. Storytelling is so important. That kind of identifies the brand. What is it about? What's the big why there? And you've also done your research, right? You've done your research so you understand the market. You've got to understand the market that you're going to penetrate and what's going to be your key differentiators. Whether it's going to be like your communication or the skill set that you're going to bring to the table that no one else really has. There's a gap, and you have identified that gap, and it's a huge gap. But then can you fulfill it? And then you went to the world, what I call the application layer. What's going to be the platform that you're going to use? And you're able to create this AI empowered platform, which I like that a lot because that gives you speed to market is so important. So if I'm an investor and I'm starting to look at this, I love the brand story. Like, yeah, that's powerful. Let's look at this research. What do they have for research? And then you're able to present that to your pitch deck, right? And what your understanding is to get me up to speed of what you're talking about. Then I have a better understanding of your application, you're authentic in what you are doing. And then we can start looking at the assets that you're created. And then when you get to that visibility world, as you just alluded to, I then made my story visible. And then all of a sudden, you got a lot of people now interested in what you're doing. Obviously the end users, the audience, people like, yes, I've been, in this type of situation, this kind of pain, this kind of block that I've had when I'm engaging with the healthcare system. This seems to be something that I can then engage with that's going to give me confidence to move forward in my particular journey. I think that's great. And then you're executing on the idea. That's what I call the BRAVE framework. And you are brave. And I can see that about you. You're like, look, Grant, I got this down cold. I know what to do. I'm making it happen, and I'm going to continue on this journey because there's somebody out there that needs you. And I want you, if you don't mind, take the mic right now. I want you to speak directly to that pool of women that are out there that are fragile right now. Maybe they're the silent majority, and talk to them about how you can help them.
Yes, of course. So there are so many phases of life and transitions for women. Men just get to live life in the same hormonal state their whole lives. In our case, hormones really change. So whether you're navigating postpartum and trying to get back to your old body and trying to understand how things work now postpartum or entering perimenopause, having a lot of these symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, mood swings, night sweats, whatever it is, like things are changing and you're like, what's going on with my body? So we help you look underneath the hood to really understand what is causing the fatigue. Is it a hormonal issue? Is it a nutrient deficiency? Is it metabolic? What's causing some of the other symptoms, right? Regardless of what the symptoms are, we look through blood testing to really understand what is causing them, because I think a lot of the healthcare system sort of tends to treat on symptoms, putting on a Band-Aid. We really want to look at the root cause and then from there optimize. And then the bonus of that is while you're doing the blood testing, not only do we uncover what's causing the symptoms, we're actually able to look at things like cardiovascular health and metabolic health to understand whether you might be at risk of anything. Cardiovascular risk is a big thing for women. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women, actually. And so looking at that data early on is so valuable. And a lot of times these hormonal transitions can actually exacerbate the risk, particularly as estrogen declines, testosterone declines. And so that's something that we look at as well, plus the symptoms to understand your phase of life, what your symptoms mean, and then most importantly, what we can do about it. And we take a very holistic approach. If you are someone who prefers to go natural, let's talk about nutrition, let's talk about exercise, let's talk about supplements. If you're like, listen, I don't have time for any of that, I'm really busy, give me the pill. Let's talk about what treatment is right for you. And we have our clinicians we're very experienced in women's health to be able to do that. So this is sort of what I wish existed. I had to figure out how to get the blood tests that my doctors wouldn't recommend, what to do with my diet, how to change what supplements I was missing. So this is very much inspired by what I wish I had, and after talking to so many women, what they wish existed. So hopefully we can help a lot of women and not just feel better in the short term, but also live longer, live healthier. Women spend 25% more time in poor health than men, and I want to change that.
That's an interesting stat. That is a show-stopping statistic, 25% more than men. So that should tell us something. And I also love the fact that you've solved your own problem. You know, you come up with a business idea, like, you know what? I have a problem. I have this problem and I'm solving it. And this is how I did it. That, talk about authenticity and storytelling. Like, that is huge. I see why you're growing at the rate that you're growing at, and that you are helping people at a great rate. This is wonderful. I want to ask you, because I always turn the tables at some point in time, that now you've been on a lot of podcasts, you've done a lot of interviews, you've talked to a lot of different people, but this is your first experience on the Follow the Brand podcast with me. How did you feel about it?
It's great. You know, I really appreciate the approach you take of looking at the personal story and the personal brand. A lot of podcasts focus more on tell me about your business or tell me about your take on this industry. And I think what's so unique is when we get to talk about the personal stories, and a lot of the podcasts that I gravitate to is I want to understand the founder's story. I want to understand what it was like early days. What kind of crazy thing did they do to get their company off the ground? What motivated them? And so I think that that's a really interesting perspective that you're bringing, and I appreciate you having me on to share my story.
Oh, I want to have you on every week to share your story, because this is so important. It's a very important topic, not to make any light of that. It is very important to understand we as a people have to be accountable for everything in our lives, and that includes our healthcare. And we have to do what we can to alleviate, some of the situations that you're having. You are doing that. And I really appreciate you doing that. You've got to tell the audience how to contact you so they can get more information about your business.
Yes, of course. So to find my business, you can go to livehealth.co. So that is LYV health.co. Or feel free to reach out. You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, or email us at hello@livehealth.co. We're always open to chat.
Well, hello.
I know.
I want to encourage the entire audience to listen to all the episodes of Follow Brand. They are very similar. What you just heard from Andres, he has kind of laid it out. This is so important to understand. And then how we can take control of our own situations and to make it further. That's why I have a library of knowledge, a library of individuals, a library of HI agents. They're called human beings. You should check them out. There's over 200 of them sharing their stories just like you just did for us to get better. They are available at 5-Star BDM. That's the number 5. That is star, STAR, BDM, B for brand, D for development, informations.com. I want to thank you again so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Grant.
You're welcome.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
Really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
In today's world, where every voice competes for attention, true influence stands out. One visionary has redefined the landscape of brand building. His name is Grant McGaw, and his innovative approach is setting new standards in the industry. Recognized among the top 30 global gurus in branding for 2025, Grant McGaw is a name synonymous with transformative brand leadership. His work is not just about creating brands, it's about crafting legacies. Through his visionary strategies, he is helping leaders across the globe redefine their impact and influence. At the heart of Grant's success is the revolutionary BRAVE framework. BRAVE stands for branding, resilience, authenticity, vision, and excellence. Each element is meticulously crafted to guide leaders in building brands that are not only successful, but also meaningful. Branding sets the foundation, resilience ensures longevity, authenticity builds trust, vision drives innovation, and excellence guarantees quality. This framework is where data meets storytelling and strategy meets authenticity. From healthcare to technology, Grant's methodology is reshaping how industries approach branding. His strategies are not confined to a single sector. They are universal, adaptable, and effective. By integrating the BRAVE framework, organizations are experiencing a transformation in how they connect with their audiences, ensuring their message resonates and endures. Grant McGaw's influence extends beyond frameworks. Through his best-selling books and the acclaimed Follow the Brand podcast, he shares insights and strategies that empower leaders to elevate their brand presence. These resources are a testament to his commitment to shaping the future of branding. Grant McGaw is not just influencing the present, he is shaping the future of brand influence. His work is a beacon for those seeking to lead with purpose and impact. By embracing his methodologies, leaders are equipped to navigate the complexities of modern branding with confidence and clarity. Discover the BRAVE approach to brand leadership and unlock the potential of your brand. At 5-Star BDM, where vision meets results, Grant McGaw invites you to embark on a journey of transformation. Experience the power of strategic branding and redefine your impact in the world. Welcome to Follow the Brand, where we turn leaders into legends. I'm Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM. Today, we're not just talking about executive presence, we're going to transform yours. Executive presence isn't about power, it's about trust. And here's the good news. You can build it at any level. Let's dive into how you can command any room you enter. Dr. Kimberly Long, CEO of California Nurse Leaders, shared a profound insight. The moment you try to prove your power is the moment you lose it. Executive presence is about building trust and authority without force. It's about creating an environment where people lean in to listen. You can achieve this by being authentic and consistent in your communication and actions. Consider Dr. Long during a hospital merger. She lowered her voice instead of raising it, and the room leaned in. Similarly, Sarah Chen, a project manager, used this technique in meetings. Within 3 months, her team began to emulate her style. Denzel Ross, now president of IU Health South Central, built his presence by identifying communication gaps and lifting others up. These examples show how presence spreads through subtle yet powerful actions. Your action step. In your next 3 meetings, try speaking 10% slower and 20% quieter. Watch what happens. For team leads, start delegating key responsibilities. Managers should use meetings as learning labs. Directors build cross-functional bridges. The key shift? Stop being the answer person. Start being the question person. This approach fosters growth and empowers others. Patrick Green, CEO of UF Health Jacksonville, uses a communication matrix to simplify complex ideas. His 3-step formula: start with impact, follow with insight, end with action. For example, instead of saying, "We need to upgrade our systems," he says, "We can save 50 lives this year by investing in this technology. Here's how." This clarity builds influence and trust. 3 common mistakes: reactivity, over-explaining, and imposter syndrome. When challenged, Take a slow sip of water to respond thoughtfully. Instead of defending every detail, offer a headline first. Dr. Long still gets nervous before board meetings but prepares thoroughly. Remember, nervousness is energy. Executive presence isn't a destination, it's a practice. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there.
When you deliver on your promise and you have the result you were looking for, and everybody in the room is like, wow, this is what we're talking about.
Are you searching for a website that truly reflects your mission and vision? The 5-star BDM website services portfolio, led by Grant McGaw, transforms ideas into impactful digital platforms for personal brands, nonprofits, and small businesses. Each project in our portfolio tells a unique story. From JADICC, an infection control expert organization with professional polish, to Ekaba World Community, a dynamic hub for events and memberships, and Pink Lotus Project, empowering women with donation and program features, every site is crafted using our Brave branding framework and mobile-first development. Our portfolio is more than a gallery. It highlights project context, purpose, and measurable outcomes. We demonstrate brand consistency, strategic user experience, and deliver results that build trust and drive engagement. A world-class portfolio proves capability, sets you apart from competitors, and positions you as an authority. It is your most trusted sales tool and reputation asset. Ready for a website that leads with purpose? Book a discovery consultation or request a brand audit today. What if leadership wasn't about titles, but trials? What if your breakthrough lay beyond fear? In First Light, the brave path to authentic leadership, embark on a journey of courage, truth, and purpose. Face the wolf. Hear first thunder. Wield the sword and shield. This is more than a book. It's a calling. Are you ready for First Light? In today's fast-paced financial landscape, access to capital is the key to success. At the heart of this revolution is Case Capital Markets, powered by SETI-Case. Here, innovation and investment converge, creating a dynamic environment where businesses can thrive and reach new heights. Introducing Grant McGaw, the senior advisor at Case Capital Markets. Grant is a visionary leader, dedicated to connecting businesses with institutional capital and strategic funding. His expertise opens doors to game-changing investment opportunities, making him an invaluable partner for companies looking to scale and succeed in the competitive world of finance. With an impressive 25 years in technology, 9 years in healthcare, and 6 years in investment banking, Grant McGaw has a proven track record. He has successfully closed over $500 million in high-value transactions, seamlessly bridging technology, healthcare, and infrastructure with innovative financial solutions. His experience is a testament to his ability to drive success. Case Capital Markets offers businesses direct access to over 32,000 venture capital firms, private equity funds, family offices, and institutional investors. This network empowers mid-market companies with under $100 million in revenue to scale beyond their limits, unlocking unprecedented growth potential. Debt, equity, growth capital, public offerings. These are the building blocks of the future of capital access. Whether you're scaling a business, seeking investment, or exploring market expansion, Grant McGaw is your trusted partner. Together, you can unlock capital and create long-term financial success. The future belongs to those who take action. Are you ready to elevate your business?
The 5-star BDM LinkedIn social selling course can help you stand out and attract the right connections and opportunities. We will help you professionally create your profile, provide personalized recommendations for improvement, and help you create and share engaging content to help you showcase your skills and expertise. Our 5-step course makes connecting with industry experts, finding job opportunities, and building meaningful relationships easy. Social selling can be an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Our course will help you solve the problems associated with digital networking. If you need help personalizing your outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. If you need help targeting the right prospects, this course is for you. With so much noise on social media, it can be challenging to cut through the clutter and get your message in front of the right people. Our course will personalize your messaging using our targeting tools and research. You can identify and reach the right prospects. We will also show how to deliver high quality, valuable content that attracts and engages prospects and clients. The 5-star BDM LinkedIn social selling course will address these challenges by implementing best practices. As a result, you can improve your social selling efforts and generate better results. Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility. If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling Video course will help you focus on personalizing your outreach and messaging to better connect with prospects. In module number 1, the foundation, we will help you create high quality, valuable profile that will attract and engage. In module 2, the story, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make sure it is complete, accurate, and visually appealing. In module number 3, the experience, using your targeting tools and research to identify and reach out to the right prospects. In module number 4, engagement, establishing a consistent follow-up process to nurture leads and build relationships over time. And lastly, in number 5, execution. Understand the metrics to help you measure your brand effectiveness. By addressing these challenges and implementing best practices, you will improve your social selling with the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling course. Listen to what others have said about 5-star BDM.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand. When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You were definitely instrumental in helping to shape that knowledge of who I am. Because at first I thought, well, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a producer. I am a speaker. And so I said, well, I must be a creative communicator. I know that there is a narrative thread here, but you nailed it when you said you are a storyteller. So you brought it all together in this cohesive title.
Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-star BDM to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your executive brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. TISA went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building. Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission, your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending and start leading. 5-Star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.
Healthcare is evolving rapidly, and future leaders must adapt swiftly. Dr. Sandra Dunbar Smalley shares her journey from clinician to chief learning officer, highlighting the essence of modern leadership. Transitioning from the clinical floor to the executive suite requires more than just expertise. Dr. Dunbar Smalley emphasizes that leadership today isn't about having all the answers. It's about fostering environments where innovation, learning, and human connection can thrive. While mentors provide invaluable guidance, sponsors are crucial for creating opportunities. Dr. Dunbar Smalley underscores the importance of both in navigating the path to leadership. Many leaders, including Dr. Dunbar Smalley, experience imposter syndrome. Yet, they continue to step forward, embracing challenges and growing through them. Discover the 3 pillars transforming healthcare leadership: leading self, leading others, and leading results. These principles guide leaders in creating impactful change. Don't just listen, lead. Subscribe now to Follow the Brand podcast.
Sometimes when you have a particular skill set, you may not even feel you can move in different avenues, but someone will see that. So I think there are 2 camps of people: those that really want to climb that ladder and they're very eager to do it. And then there are those that I call the reluctant leader, where doors may be open and you have to choose whether you're going to go into them. And so I'm in that second camp where I've really just accepted and felt very blessed that people have said, I'd like to give you this opportunity.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road.
providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.